The saddest days are met. The saddest days are met.
Nicky Manners, always a pleasure. So we're in Leeds at your little
laboratory.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Yeah.
So this is where the action happens.
Sometimes 30, sometimes 35. We're mixing up the classes at the moment. We're letting the kids train with the adults. So the adults are inspired by the kids and the kids are inspired by the adults, so to speak. We've got good numbers. We've got good numbers and we're serving the community well.
Yeah.
Really well. It is what it is. I come in the daytime, I do a couple of one-on-ones. On the night time we do our classes. It's not 7 days a week, not a chance. I'll go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, half day Thursday, Friday, half day Saturday, God's day Sunday.
I wanted to call it Leeds in Black and White, right? And when you told me what front Gotta Get Through This means, there wasn't a title better than that. What does it mean?
Sometimes in life, you might be scared to death, but you know sometimes what you got to do, you got to be brave. You got to put on a front and just try and get through whatever situation it is. It might be an exam, it might be a test, it might be anything you want to do, but you know what it is, you just got to front it out. A lot of people understand what front means. You've got to put a front on. No, because that would be like, I'm a fake. Put it this way, if you're a soldier and you go to war, when the battle commences, that's when the action starts. But when you're in your house with your family and that, you're not jumping around down testing and just and firing off shots and warning shots and flares and this, that and the other. No, at the time you do wear a different hat for a different occasion, don't you? I'm an ex-professional boxer. I don't spend my time shadow boxing in the house all the time or doing this, that and the other, because that was then. Now I'd like to think that I'm a teacher.
So the book itself, obviously, Joe Calzaghe's did the foreword. For obvious reasons, you and him fought mid-90s. You actually his sparring partner as well for when he fought Eubank. It's all in the book. So the book is 22 chapters. If I could kind of sum it up in 30 seconds, you know, young kid, misled, chip on his shoulder, very angry, 5 brothers, didn't want to be the victim, grown up on a predominantly white estate, prison, boxing, Josh Warrington, Paul Sykes, to becoming a carer for a terminally ill man. And it's a journey, there's a point to it, and there's a strong message in that, in your book.
Well, the message for me, if you don't mind me interrupting, the message for me is that sometimes in life it doesn't matter where you start, and it doesn't matter the obstacles that you have along the way. There's always an opportunity to change, and even if it's in a blink of an eye, even if it's just taking your time and saying, you know what, instead of spinning like a lunatic, slow down, stop, start again. Might have to go in a totally different direction. And for me, I've got no prouder feeling than when I see some of the underdogs that come through the door in the gym. Yeah, underdogs in life. When there's underdogs and they might come and they've got their head down, and I'm thinking, everybody's got an opportunity to hold their head up and walk proud. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that because I've got through certain situations and that. Listen, I've been the underdog myself. And sometimes you have to turn around and just stand up and carry on. And that's when people turn around and realise that there's something about you, you know what I mean? It's not always about violence. It's not always about winning. It's not always about winning. Sometimes it's just about competing, taking part, and giving a good representation of yourself.
And there's some fascinating characters and huge personalities in the book. Mickey Duff, you've kind of dedicated a whole chapter on, you know, he was the biggest influence in British boxing. So many people told me, such as Frank Warren, Colin Hart. You knew him. You couldn't get a better promoter in Britain at the time.
He was the business. Listen, when it comes right down to it, I've got no qualms in saying I didn't have the closest relationship with him, because at the end of the day, he got the closest to the boxers that were going the furthest. Think about it. It makes sense. You know, I mean, the promoters aren't interested in the fella at the bottom of the bill. They're more interested in the fellas who can go to the top of the bill. And although I was on a trajectory in that respect, I was surrounded by some quality kids, you know, some good kids, and also up and down the country, there was a serious selection of fighters, from all the different local areas and that. He ran things, and then when he started coming up north, well, not started, but when he came back up north and that, you realise that there was actually this fighters up here, you know, and he had a stable in Manchester, stable in Liverpool, stable in Leeds. I don't think he quite got Sheffield, because the Ingles, he had Sheffield wrapped up, so to speak. But he still used the Ingle fighters and things like that, you know what I mean? Mickey Duff, I've got to say, for me, next to Don King, he's got to be the greatest promoter that I've known, you know what I mean? All over Europe, he ran Europe.
The Ingle, there's quite a few little stories in a Brendan Ingle. You, at certain times of your life, were quite, you know, obviously there's other people closer, but he looked out for you. He'd go for walks late at night.
Brendan Ingle, I'm absolutely, what's the word, honoured to know that I knew Brendan Ingle personally, and that he had a good connection with me, you know what I mean?
And what was it he used to shout when he used to see you?
What is it? Oh, Nicky Manners! Keep your hands in your pockets. Don't be teething nothing. That Leeds lad, hey, watch out for your gear. That Leeds lad's here again. That Leeds fella. And the thing is, because what we used to do is, and I'm sure that a lot of people used to do it on amateurs. When you used to go fight, you always used to take something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether it was a cutlery, whether this time, the other, because they'd give you a pie and peas and a trophy, and you'd be like, nah, man, I've just had my head punched about, and I didn't get something for no. You know what I mean? Yeah. I always like my souvenirs.
Eddie Hearn, it was something of Eddie Hearn's, and you went, no, hang on, Josh. This is history. This is from the press conference of the first Leeds, blah, 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 blah. And it meant something to you, and I dare say you still got it, haven't you?
Listen, I've got all sorts, you know, you'd be at the sports awards and that, you know what I mean? I'm like, what are you doing that? Nothing. Thank you very much. Cheers. We'll put a sports award. You know what I mean? No, I've had some fantastic times, some real good occasions. Listen to this. Josh Warrington got awarded because he's Leeds' first male world champion and all that business, and so we was invited to the Leeds Civic Hall for a presentation for him. You know what I mean? In honour of what he'd done. Listen, I must have been around next to Josh that much that the Lord Mayor thought I was Josh Warrington. You know what I mean? Yeah. When they said, oh, we'd like to have a round of applause for Josh Warrington and all that, and they looked straight at me. And I went, him. And then this little fella jumps up and goes and gets his award.
Josh, obviously you were, for the best part of a decade, you watched him. I think he just won the Commonwealth title, so obviously he was British, European, intercontinental, and of course the world. It was some journey, wasn't it? Great
journey. Listen, I'll tell you something now. There's so many trainers, coaches, teachers who wait a lifetime to be involved in boxing at top level and still never get the opportunity to do it. So from my point of view, I feel very, very honoured that I was selected to be a part of a team that brought Leeds its first male world champion. And I'll tell you what, it took some doing. There was a lot of people that didn't believe that he was capable of doing it, but you know something, I'm a firm believer in belief. If you believe that you can do something, it don't necessarily mean that you're wrong. Give that go. But if you believe it, there's an opportunity to achieve it. You know what I mean? So, but you've got to believe it. And to be fair, he believed in himself, he believed in his drive, he believed in his potential to win. You know what I mean? And we didn't look too far ahead, but we saw in the horizon that there was an opportunity to sit in the sun. But it's just a matter of let's get from this island to that island to this island to that island, and all them islands were titles and fights and that. And
Yeah, I mean, you say something in your book. I think you're talking about David Batty, and you said it. Basically, I think you sat down with him in the early days and said, "Look, Josh, you could have this city eating out your hand," and you know what? He's went on to do incredible things, and you know, good luck. I love Josh. I've known him quite a long time. But do you know what? When the day comes when he does hang him up, the city of Leeds will forever remember him. One, and they'll love him forever.
he's remembered already. You know what it is? In Leeds, one thing about Leeds is that the Leeds people, if you're genuine,
Yeah.
they'll back you, they'll stand for you, and they'll follow you. And the thing is, what he's done from that point of view is against the odds.
Yeah.
He's gone on. He's represented right the way up to winning the world title. He spoke well. He represented Leeds well. He made people fall in love with Leeds. Listen, notoriously around the country, people love Leeds, can't stand Leeds lads.
Yeah.
Love Leeds, can't stand Leeds lads. Why? Because we're direct, we're straight. We call an apple an apple and a pear a pear. Simple as that. You know what I mean? I could have used different terminologies, but we call an apple and a pear, and that's it. Say it as you see it. Done. Not wrong with that. I think personally, the book, I think you've done really well. I thank you very much for all the time and patience that you
Have you read it in full then? Are you?
I've read it, yeah. I've read it.
Was it emotional? Was it?
No, not at all. Because I've been there and I've read it myself. I've read it. I've lived it. That's me. So the main reason why I wanted to do this book was that at the end of the day, I've got a personality of my own. I've got a character of my own. At the end of the day, some people love me, some people hate me. You can't ignore me.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? But at the end of the day, some people might say, Nick, they might say to themselves, oh, why is he like that? Why is he so fucking direct and that? Why does he just say it as it is? So, because you know something, I ain't got time for the bullshit. You know, and I see enough of it as it is, and I hear enough as it is. I agitate people's demons because I'll look you in the eye and I'm quite alright with me. I'm alright. But if you're a liar, you're going to start blinking and looking away. Not wrong with the truth. If you're straight, you should be able to look me in the eye and have a conversation. Other than that, you're a wrong one. What you hiding, what's in your character and personality that you can't look me in the eye and have a conversation, because you know what? I'm doing naught to you, not doing naught to you, I'm just being straight. Anyway, as we were saying.
The sunniest days are met.